Hey, what's up everyone? So today I'm going through the process of detailing my car's paint. As you can see, this car is not very shiny. It's probably never been detailed in its life. It's probably rarely washed. There's kind of like a thick layer of smog and grime on it, and has basically the worst paint from the factory. This is my first time ever detailing a car's paint, and I figured I'd make a video kind of start to finish so you can see the whole process on a car that's never been detailed before. Most of the products that I'll be using today are from a company called Chemical Guys. They have a ton of great products and also a ton of great detailed YouTube videos on how to detail a car's paint. So you can go ahead and check those out. I'll have a link in the description. All right, so let's jump into it. So quick overview of the process is to first wash the car, clay bar the car, polish the car, seal the car, and then wax the car. These are all the materials that I'm going to be using. All the links are going to be in the description if you want to check them out. They're all from Chemical Guys. First step is to wash the car. So I'm going to be using a waterless wash because I don't have a really good setup for like a foam gun or something like that, but that's another option. And so with the waterless wash, you're going to want to spray it on and then wipe it down dry with a microfiber cloth. So you're going to want to wipe in straight lines because straight lines don't show scratches as much. So if you happen to pick up a piece of dirt or something, then the scratch won't show as much. So let's go ahead and spray this on and then start wiping it off. Okay, so after you wash your car, if you run your hand over the paint, you'll probably still be able to feel some like roughness. It won't feel like mirror smooth or anything. And so what we're gonna wanna do next is clay bar the car. So with this clay, you're gonna wanna take it out of the package, knead it in your fingers, and you're gonna rub it in straight lines across the paint. And what that will do will pick up all the little contaminants that are in your paint, like little pieces of dirt and stuff like that. That's the roughness. It'll pick it up and put it into the clay. So then your paint will be feeling nice and smooth. And you use like a clay lubricator with that. And so as you start claying, it might feel a little rough and drag, and then as you keep going, it'll get nice and smooth. So let's do that now. All right, so after you're done claying, you'll want to wipe it dry, and we'll move on to polishing. Okay, so now that we've clayed and washed, I'm going to move on to the polisher. So this is a Twerks polisher. I'll have the link in the description with an orange pad and some V34 polish. Chemical Guys has kind of a nice kit where you get the polisher, some pads, and polish. And basically V34 is a cutting compound, so it's going to cut it, remove a bunch of the swirls and stuff like that. Then I'm going to move up to the 36 and 38 to actually polish it and get it a lot smoother. So let's start this off. To kind of start, I'm going to be putting 5 kind of dime-sized drops of compound on this and then turning it on to speed level 1 and kind of spreading it out. If you turn it all the way to 6 before spreading it out, then it just kind of flings everywhere. So you just want to spread it out nice and evenly and then basically do straight line passes and cover 50% on your next pass. So 50% of the last pass on your next pass. And then I drew these little black lines on here so you can see if it's actually spinning or not, because if you push too hard, it will stop spinning. So let's go ahead and get this started and start polishing this up. All right, so we got the compound on here, and just gonna blot it out over the surface. And then turn this on to 1. Smooth it out. And now I'm going to turn it up to 6 and really get it polished. And make sure to keep the polisher on the car when you turn it off, or else you'll get spray everywhere. Okay, so I ended up going back to the V32 polish and then doing V34 again. And now I'm moving on to V36 with a white, lighter kind of polishing pad. It's already making a massive difference. There's like basically orange and white now. So I don't know if you can see on the camera, but I'll show you the before and after in a little bit. So gonna go ahead and polish up with this, and then move on up to the V38, and then do sealant and wax. So at this point, there's just very fine swirl marks now. You can see them in the direct sunlight, but it's like, basically this is the shiniest the car's ever been. They're almost like spiderweb swirl marks. So I'll see as I keep going through the process if these come out. And if they don't, then I will have to go back to the harsher compound and get them out. But this is looking super good so far. Very impressed. So let's keep going. All right, so now I'm moving on to a black pad with the V38. This is kind of like the final polish. And so hopefully this will be enough to get the kind of final swirl marks out of my paint. But oh my gosh, I can already see like such a shine. Kind of like the direct sunlight, very small kind of spiderweb swirl marks. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. Okay, so now we are moving on to a glaze. I have this glaze here called White Light by Chemical Guys. And basically what a glaze does is it fills in all of the kind of minor imperfections and makes it a lot shinier. So with the glaze, you're gonna wanna use a, you can do it by hand or use a kind of buffer or whatever this thing is called. And you put it on the light or the slowest setting. And you basically just wanna coat it, leave it for 15 minutes, and then buff it off. So that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, so that's all we need to do for that. Let's wait 15 minutes and then buff it off with microfiber cloth. Okay, so we've waited 15 minutes and the glaze is all finished, kind of like soaking in. So we're gonna take this finishing microfiber cloth and go ahead and buff it off, and then we'll put the sealant on. So I'm going to be using this jet seal, and so what a sealant does is it kind of locks in all the glaze and all the work that you've done, and protects it from more dirt and stuff trying to get into the paint. So with this, it's similar to the glaze. You just put it on in a very thin layer, wait 15 minutes, and then buff it off. So let's first buff, and then we can get the sealant on. Oh man, so the glaze is really where the shine starts to come out. It's pretty insane how shiny it is after the glaze. And for the jet sealer, I'm using a red ultra soft finishing pad. All right, so now let's let this wait for 15 minutes. Okay, we've let that sealant sit for about 15 minutes now, so let's go ahead and buff it off and then we'll move on to the wax. All right, so this is the butter wet wax, and basically what wax does is help kind of bring out the shine of the paint. So, and then also kind of helps protect against water and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do is we have this little kind of like microfiber foam applicator. Basically just helps it get into all the cracks and stuff like that. And so we're gonna go ahead and apply a few strips onto this, blotch it out, and then rub and kind of rub it in back and forth motions, no swirls. All right, so we got a nice even coat of it on. We're gonna let it sit for 15 minutes again and then buff it off, and then we'll be all done. All right, so it's been 15 minutes, so let's go ahead and buff it off with the microfiber cloth. Alrighty, so here it is. Here is the finished product. As you can see, the paint is so much shinier. Let's see if we can see. Get this to focus. So basically, from here over is where I didn't do anything, and it's basically orange. This might not be showing up on the camera that well, but there's tons of water spots over here, and it's like never been washed basically. Now this is basically super shiny, all white, and so smooth to the touch. So I need to finish this up for the rest of the car, but it's looking so good. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. I hope that helps you out if you're looking to kind of like super detail your paint on your car. I'm super happy with the results. Once I do it all over the car is going to look awesome, and it will just look so much whiter. So thanks so much. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.